still doing that, you're still in the cycle. And it's keeping you so unhappy. It's keeping you from true love. It's keeping you from intimacy. When I wake up in the morning next to my girl, right, it is one of the purest feelings ever. What's happening, brothers? Welcome to another episode of Porn Reboot Coach in the Porsche. Today I want to tell you a quick story about the day that I realized, or rather the night that I realized that my problem with pornography could possibly get me killed. I'll just tell you guys the quick story. So I had no game. I couldn't get with women. I was awkward. I was weird. I was filled with anxiety. And I was really desperate when I was a porn addict. I used to, in Wichita, I used to get drunk on Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, and I would go out to the clubs. And back then, you would grind when you danced, and right, the clubs were really packed. So I'd get fucked up. I'd go out there and I'd just grind on girls like a creep. That's what I did, right? And my goal was to do what I saw some guys doing, which was get fucked up with a girl and then come home with her, right? That's what I saw dudes doing, and I figured I would run the game that way. Really fucked up, but that never happened because I was always awkward. There was always some weird shit going down. So I would come back home and I would just watch porn. And then I would get really angry that I wasn't having sex, and I would get on chat sites. So back then you put your credit card info in and then you chat with this girl for this amount of time and buy her gifts and shit. And I used to do that, right? And this was like, well, when I was in my early 20s. And the crazy thing was these girls would tell me, and they would ask me, they were like, dude, why the fuck are you doing this? Like, you're a decent looking guy. And I liked the validation they gave me. I liked it. So I just kept paying them a lot of money. One day, I got tired of this shit. Well, not one day. I used to get tired of this shit, and I would get on sites like Craigslist. Back then, Craigslist had a personals section, and I would try to have anonymous sex. Right? I would roll the dice, hoping that I would meet a girl and have sex with her. So it was anonymous. So you never knew who it was, and you would exchange pictures, and then you would try to meet with the person. And one day, this person starts sending me pictures, and I go like, well, okay, I think this is a real person. It's a woman, a girl. She says she's in her 20s. She's babysitting for somebody, and she's horny, and she's looking to have sex, and she's like, I sent some of my pictures. Yeah, I was sending out my pictures to just anonymous individuals on the internet, and she was like, let's meet up. Like, you're hot. And I was like, cool, what time? And I was tipsy. I had just got back from the club. I had just finished my routine of porn and paying the chat girls, and I'd already masturbated a few times. And because I was like fucking high, I was still horny. So I was like, let's fucking go. And he gave me an address and said, come over real quick. Shit was across town. Got in my car, drove across town, tipsy, to some fucked up suburb. Now it's all blurry to me because, again, I was fucked up, but I won't forget what happened, which was I pulled up behind this place because I couldn't figure it out. And I'm freaking out because I'm just like, it's weird, those of you who've been in this situation understand what I'm saying. When you're on that euphoric high, you're driving around with like a fucking boner, and you're about to act out, right? A lot of people don't get this shit. Like, I see all these, no offense to them, I see all these people who haven't actually dealt with a porno sex addiction. I see these female coaches out there going like, I'll help you quit porn. They don't understand what the fuck I'm talking about right now. They don't fucking get it. Let me go off for a second on these motherfuckers who think they can help people quit porn, but they haven't experienced what I'm talking about right now. And they never fucking will, right? But they're like, I'll help you quit porn. I know the shit. And they're just copying motherfuckers all over the place. Fuck you guys, right? And you girls who are doing that shit. Can't actually help people and their behavior. Anyway, driving around with like that fucking hard on, with the adrenaline rushing, you're just chasing it. You're not thinking clearly because you've literally been possessed by your sub personality, by your addict. And I pull up and I'm messaging because you're determined. You're like, I'm going to do it. And she says like, well, come out of your car. I think I see you. But the thing that saved me, and I tell this to parents, raising your kids right matters. It does matter because at the back of my head, there was still this fear that what would my parents say if I got arrested right now? Or how embarrassing would it be to be murdered out here? And my family would be like, how was he murdered? I was like, it would be so embarrassing for my parents to try and hide how their son died. I just think that would be the worst fucking thing, to like die in some alleyway acting out. And even saying it right now, I feel a little bit of guilt because it was so real to me and there was so many fucking times that it could have happened. But I didn't come out of the car because of that. I sat there and I was like, nah, you need to come out, let me see if you're real. And I didn't put my car in park, right? I put it on drive. And as I was sitting there, the glass on the side screen or whatever the fuck you want to call it, the window, smashed. Like somebody, I don't know what happened. Somebody came up on it and smashed it. And it was a setup. Of course, I didn't realize it then, but I was on drive. So all I remember was just slamming down on the fucking accelerator, driving through that yard. I don't know whose yard it was, but I drove through that shit and like across like fucking trampolines and, you know, the little kiddie pools, the plastic blow up kiddie pools and toys and tricycles and shit. I fucking destroyed the bottom of my vehicle doing that. But I drove through all that shit, and I remember, brothers, just driving back, fucking up the steering wheel of my car because I was like squeezing that motherfucker, like squeezing that shit, right? And I just kept telling myself, you weren't raised like this, JK. You weren't raised like this, JK. You weren't raised like this. You weren't raised like this. You weren't raised like this. And I did that shit all the way back home. Like, just feel like I was fucked up, but it was adrenaline that got me home. And I remember getting back home and realizing that, like, I had a fucking problem. I was like, how can I have fallen this far? Right? And you guys know it. I woke up the next morning, right? Hungover, filled with shame, but ultimately just thankful that I wasn't in prison, I wasn't in jail, I was alive. And that was when I decided that I needed to end this behavior. This was gonna fuck my life. And there's some of you out there, for real, brothers, some of you out there have been rolling this dice that I rolled. Y'all roll it every weekend. As you get older, maybe you don't roll it every weekend, but you roll it every few months, right? Please stop, right? It's not about what's going to happen to you if you get caught. It's just that if you're still doing that, you're still in the cycle. And it's keeping you so unhappy. It's keeping you from true love. It's keeping you from intimacy. When I wake up in the morning next to my girl, right? It is one of the purest feelings ever, right? I'm at a point right now that sometimes I don't want to travel. Like, I don't want to go anywhere because I'm just so happy being at peace. I'm just so happy waking up and knowing that, man, I got my morning routine. I live in a nice place. I got a cool person in my life. I have intimacy, right? I love what I do. And all these things only came about when I gave them the space in my life. And you can't get those things you want if you're chasing pornography, right? So that's my story of the time I decided that fuck, like I was done. Now, did I stop cold right then? Oh, fuck no. Of course not, right? I kept watching pornography. The journey continued for a while. That was when the serious, like, I'm gonna quit this behavior deal started. I gotta go to work. Just wanted to share that with you guys, all right? I appreciate y'all. I'm JK, your brother in this struggle. Now listen, excuse how I'm dressed. I came back from the gym. Crazy workout. It's fucking snowing outside. I hate the snow. Listen, we have couple of hundred brothers in the implementation program. We have about 55 to 60 brothers in the intensive program. Those are the men I coach. Those brothers are executives, they're CEOs, they are business owners. Those are the brothers in the intensive. But in the implementation program, you get coaching fucking 6 days a week. Every day of the week, there's coaching. You now get one on one coaching with coaches in the group for no extra cost. You get accountability partners. We have hundreds of accountability partners, brothers who are actually dealing with this. Of course, you get access to me too, but in a group setting. So, if you've been waiting to end this behavior, we are the best on the planet. That's all I do. I go to the gym. I live my life. My life is just pretty much helping brothers end their behavior with pornography. I invest in real estate. I have partners who manage those companies so that I don't have to manage them. And I spend all my time helping you end your behavior with pornography. So you'll always see me around in the Facebook group, in the Zoom room. I'm always doing something from morning to night, right? My goal is to help you end this behavior so you can move on with your life. So while I'm doing this, guys, please show up. All right? Show up. Let me help you end this behavior, right? Our deal is very simple. We'll help you permanently end this behavior in a year and a half to 2 years. Right? So if you're ready, use one of the links in the description to join. Let's end this shit. Okay? I'm out. Have a great day.